And now to the toxic water scandal in Flint, Michigan. Accusations that children are testing with dangerously high levels of lead that can lead to permanent brain damage because of decisions made by city officials in Flint to save money on the water supply. NBC's Stephanie Gosk has the story.
Everyone who drank the water, an entire U.S. city, is at risk.
It's just crazy.
The most vulnerable in Flint are children like April's. One-year-old Kevin has double the level of lead considered acceptable.
I can't do nothing about it but continue to buy bottles of water with money that I do not have.
A water quality expert tells NBC News that just $100 a day was all it would have taken to avoid this crisis.
The Flint River has a high salt content, so it corroded the pipes that it flowed through, and lead from those pipes leached into the system. Experts say that treatment from the beginning could have corrected much of the problem, but city officials never did it.
The problem began in April 2014, when city leaders switched from Detroit's water supply to save money. In February, tests showed alarming levels of lead at a home in the city, and other people worried they were at risk too. NBC News obtained an email from July. The governor's former chief of staff wrote to health officials. These folks are scared and worried about health impacts, and they are basically getting blown off by us. There were assurances internally that all was fine, and that was what the public was being told too.
Anyone who is concerned about lead in the drinking water in Flint can relax.
How old is she?
Pediatrician Mona Hanna-Attisha did not relax. She launched an independent study and discovered that lead levels in children had doubled since the water switch, and in some areas of town, the levels tripled.
In 5 years, these kids are going to have problems with special education. They're going to have cognition problems.
State and local leaders questioned her science publicly, but would later apologize, just before the water was switched back to a Detroit source in October. Lead levels are still high, and grandmother Jackie Pemberton doesn't want to wait for the fix. She wants to move out.
Do you miss your bath?
But like most families in this struggling post-industrial town, there are no options.
Who's going to buy your house? Who would want to buy it?
Fixing the water is only part of the problem. The damage to the children will last a lifetime. Stephanie Gosk, NBC News, Flint, Michigan.
And joining me now from Flint, NBC's John Yang. John, the governor, the mayor came out. What did the governor have to say about this crisis?
Well, they tried to present a united front, talked about moving forward, spending millions of dollars to replace 15,000 lead water lines here in Flint. But the governor is facing a lot of questions about how this came to be. The decision to switch to the Flint River as the water source was made by a state-appointed emergency manager here. This governor's own task force lays a lot of the responsibility for this problem on the Department of Environmental Quality, the state's Department of Environmental Quality. They say they ignored the mounting concerns by residents and the reports of high lead levels. Now, the things they talked about today are things about fixing the infrastructure. But the other big problem is the human problem. As you say, lead is especially dangerous to young children. They could have behavioral problems and cognitive problems in the years ahead. Andrea?
Truly a terrible scandal. Thank you very much. John Yang in Flint, Michigan. And coming up,